Have you ever wondered what it's like to hang out with Greek gods? Well, maybe not, because they can be a grumpy bunch. But what if you had to save them? That's the deal in You play as Fenyx, a storyteller and shield-bearer who ends up shipwrecked. Not just any shipwreck, mind you. This one lands you on a very magical, very dangerous island. The big bad, Typhon, one of the deadliest titans, has escaped his eternal prison. He's not happy. He's stripped the gods of their powers and turned most of humanity to stone, so yeah. No pressure, Fenyx. It's just the fate of the world resting on your shoulders. Our hero, Fenyx, isn't your typical muscle-bound champion from the get-go. They're more of an underdog, which makes the journey even cooler. You get to customize Fenyx, making them your very own hero. Boy or girl, hairstyle, face, the whole 9 yards. This hero is about to get a crash course in godliness, monsters, and saving the day. The game throws you right into this amazing world full of vibrant colors and ancient secrets. It's like stepping into a myth that's come alive, only with more jokes. And trust me, Greek myths could always use a few more laughs, especially when dealing with super powerful, often cranky deities. The whole setup draws heavily from those awesome Greek stories we all know and love. Or, if you don't know them, this game is a pretty fun way to learn. You'll meet gods like Zeus, Prometheus, Hermes, Aphrodite, Ares, Hephaestus, and Athena. Each one has a big personality, just like in the old tales. Typhon, the main villain, is a massive, terrifying force of nature, straight from the depths of Tartaros. The game doesn't just borrow names, it weaves their stories, their powers, and their epic feuds into everything you do. It's a fantastic blend of ancient lore and brand new adventure, making old myths feel fresh. So, you start as this regular human Fenyx, then bam! You're suddenly tasked with restoring the gods and stopping Typhon. It's a huge job, but don't worry, you get some cool divine toys to play with. Think magical swords, powerful axes, and even wings. The game does a great job of making you feel like you're growing into a legendary hero. You're not just fighting monsters, you're exploring a world steeped in mythic history. Every corner of the Golden Isle has a story to tell, a puzzle to solve, or a beast to vanquish. It's an invitation to an epic quest, one filled with wonder, danger, and a surprising amount of humor. The Golden Isle isn't just any old piece of rock in the Aegean. Oh no, this place is special. It's the main stage for Fenyx's grand adventure, and it's absolutely massive. Imagine an open world crafted by the gods themselves, each part reflecting their unique and often chaotic personalities. The island is broken up into 7 distinct regions. Each region is dedicated to a specific god, like Aphrodite, Ares, Hephaestus, Athena, and even Zeus gets a spot. Exploring these lands feels like walking through different chapters of a giant, colorful mythology book. You never know what amazing sight or grumpy deity you'll find around the next corner. Let's talk about these regions. Aphrodite's area, the Valley of Eternal Spring, is just as beautiful as you'd expect. It's full of lush greenery, giant flowers, and sparkling waterfalls. It's peaceful, mostly. Then you wander into Ares's domain, the War's Den. Think less flowers, more jagged rocks, fortresses, and the lingering smell of battle. It's rough, it's tough, and it definitely screams God of War lives here. Hephaestus, the smith god, gets the Forge Lands. This place is all about fire, volcanoes, and amazing, half-finished metal contraptions. It's a testament to his incredible craftsmanship, even if it's a bit on the hot side for a casual stroll for us mortals. Athena's Grove, dedicated to the goddess of wisdom and strategy, is more ordered. You'll find grand temples, ancient ruins, and a sense of calm intelligence pervading the air. It's a place where you feel like you should be solving a riddle or two. And then there's the King's Peak, Zeus's domain. It's the highest point on the island, often covered in snow, and it feels suitably epic and imposing. It's where the king of the gods would naturally hang out, looking down on everyone else. Each region doesn't just look different, it feels different. The challenges, the enemies, and even the ambient music change to match the god in charge. Exploring the Golden Isle is a huge part of the fun. It's not just about going from point A to point B. It's about getting lost, discovering hidden caves, and stumbling upon breathtaking views. The world is designed to encourage curiosity. See that mountain in the distance? You can probably climb it, that weird glowing thing over there? Definitely worth checking out. The island is packed with secrets, collectibles, and little environmental stories. It's a true open world, giving you the freedom to tackle challenges in almost any order you want. This makes your adventure feel uniquely yours, a personal journey through a land of myths. Getting around the Golden Isle is an adventure in itself. You're not just stuck plodding along on foot. Oh no, Fenyx gets some seriously cool ways to travel. First up is climbing. Fenyx can scale pretty much any surface. Giant statues of gods, yep. Towering cliffs, no problem. Crumbling temple walls, easy peasy. As long as you have stamina, the world is your vertical oyster. This opens up so many possibilities for exploration. You can reach hidden ledges, find secret pathways, or just get a really good view before leaping off into the unknown. It makes you feel incredibly free and powerful. Then there are the wings of Daedalus. Yes, Daedalus wings. Once you get these, the Golden Isle truly opens up. After a good climb, you can leap off and glide gracefully through the air, soaring over valleys, swooping past waterfalls, and covering huge distances feels amazing. It's not just for show either. Gliding is essential for reaching new areas, solving certain puzzles, and sometimes for making a quick getaway from a grumpy Cyclops. You can upgrade your wings too, allowing you to glide faster and perform aerial maneuvers. It's like being your own personal, mythological superhero soaring through the sky. Of course, exploration isn't just about climbing and gliding. The Golden Isle is packed with environmental puzzles that often tie into your movement abilities. You might need to find a way to activate wind gusts to carry you higher. Or perhaps you'll use your God-given strength to move giant blocks to create new paths. There are pressure plates, hidden switches, and all sorts of clever little mechanisms that require you to think about how you move through the world. These puzzles are woven seamlessly into the environment, making discovery feel natural and rewarding. Every new area presents a new challenge for your brain and your acrobatic skills. And let's not forget about mounts. While gliding is fantastic, sometimes you want to gallop across the plains. You can find and tame wild mounts throughout the Golden Isle. These aren't just ordinary horses, though. We're talking majestic stags, powerful bears, and even mythical creatures like unicorns. Riding these magnificent beasts adds another layer to exploration, making travel across the vast landscapes quicker and definitely more stylish. Combining climbing, gliding, and riding means you have a full toolkit for tackling any terrain the Golden Isle throws at you. It's all about freedom and finding your own path through this mythical realm. Combat in is fast, flashy, and super fun. It's not just about whacking monsters with a pointy stick, though you do get a very cool Sword of Achilles for quick attacks. You also get the Axe of Atalanta for heavy, stunning blows, perfect for breaking enemy guards. And for those pesky flying harpies or enemies who like to keep their distance, you have the Bow of Odysseus. Switching between these weapons on the fly is key to taking down the various mythological baddies Typhon throws your way. It's a dynamic system that encourages you to experiment and find your own fighting style. But Fenyx isn't just a weapons expert. Oh no, this is a game about gods and heroes. So naturally, Fenyx gets to wield some awesome godly powers. These are game changers. You can use Heracles' strength to smash enemies or lift heavy objects. Ares' wrath sends out a barrage of spears, great for crowd control. Phosphor, your trusty bird companion, can also assist in combat, dive bombing foes, or providing other useful effects. These powers don't just look cool, they add a whole strategic layer to fights. You'll be zipping around the battlefield, dodging attacks, parrying blows, and unleashing divine fury like a true champion of Olympus. The enemies you face are straight out of Greek mythology's greatest hits. We're talking grumpy gorgons who can turn you to stone, temporarily thankfully, massive minotaurs with earth-shattering charges, and powerful cyclopes with a single, very angry eye. There are also soldiers corrupted by Typhon, harpies swooping from the skies, and even legendary beasts like the Nemean lion. Each enemy type has its own attack patterns and weaknesses, so you can't just button mash your way to victory. You need to learn their moves, dodge effectively, and use your full arsenal of weapons and powers to come out on top. And then there are the bigger threats, the corrupted heroes and wraiths. These are tougher, more significant encounters, almost like mini-boss battles. You might face a spectral version of Achilles or Odysseus, each with their own legendary skills. These fights really test your abilities and require you to use everything you've learned. The combat system is designed to be accessible, but also offers depth for players who want to master it. Successfully parrying an attack to unleash a powerful counter, or perfectly timing a godly power to decimate a group of foes feels incredibly satisfying. It's action-packed, heroic, and a whole lot of fun. Section 5, Riddles of the Ancients, Vaults, Puzzles, and Brain Teasers. Beyond the thrilling combat and vast exploration is packed with puzzles. Seriously, the Golden Isle is like one giant escape room designed by mischievous gods. These aren't just simple switch-pulling exercises either. You'll find constellation challenges where you have to arrange stars correctly, lyre challenges where you replicate melodies, and navigation challenges that test your platforming prowess. These puzzles are cleverly integrated into the world, often guarding chests full of valuable loot like new gear or resources for upgrades. Your brain will get as much of a workout as your sword arm. A huge part of the puzzle experience comes in the form of Vaults of Tartaros. Think of these as mini dungeons, each one a self-contained challenge room hidden somewhere on the Golden Isle. Entering a vault transports you to a surreal, otherworldly space. Some vaults are combat-focused, throwing waves of enemies at you. Others are all about tricky platforming, requiring precise jumps and glides. Many, however, are pure brain teasers, filled with intricate mechanisms involving blocks, lasers, rolling spheres, and pressure plates. Completing these vaults rewards you with Zeus's lightning, which is essential for upgrading your stamina. So if you want to climb higher and glide longer, you better get good at solving these. The variety in these puzzles keeps things fresh. One moment you might be guiding a magical orb through a maze using gusts of wind, and the next you could be meticulously arranging statues to match a specific pattern. Some puzzles require you to use your godly powers in clever ways, perhaps using Heracles' strength to pull distant blocks or Ares' wrath to trigger multiple switches at once. The game does a good job of teaching you the mechanics gradually, so while some later puzzles can be quite challenging, they rarely feel unfair. There's a real sense of accomplishment when you finally hear that satisfying click or chime that means you've cracked the code. These puzzles are not just filler content, they are a core part of the gameplay loop. They encourage you to observe your surroundings, think creatively, and experiment with Fenyx's abilities. Sometimes the solution is obvious, and sometimes it requires a bit of head-scratching and maybe a cup of ambrosia or, your favorite snack to figure out. The sheer number of puzzles and vaults means there's always something new to discover and solve. It adds incredible depth to the game beyond just fighting monsters, making the Golden Isle a true test of both brawn and brains for any aspiring hero. Section 6. Godly banter, a tale hilariously told by Titans. One of the most unique and enjoyable things about is its storytelling. The entire adventure is narrated by two unlikely commentators, Prometheus, the wise Titan who gave fire to mortals, and Zeus, the often clueless king of the gods. Prometheus is trying to tell Fenyx's epic story in a serious, dramatic way. He's setting the scene, describing the challenges and highlighting the heroic deeds. He's the straight man, trying his best to maintain some dignity in this whole affair. He clearly wants this to be a tale for the ages, a proper epic. But then there's Zeus. Oh, Zeus. He's there as the captive audience, supposedly listening to Prometheus. But he can't help himself. He constantly interrupts with sarcastic remarks, terrible jokes, complaints about how would have done things better, and wildly inaccurate recollections of his own myths. He's like that one friend who can't let a story be told without adding their own, often unhelpful commentary. This creates a hilarious dynamic. Prometheus will be describing a perilous climb, and Zeus will chime in with a complaint about how his back hurts just thinking about it, or how Fenyx should have just used his lightning bolts, which Fenyx doesn't have, of course. This banter between Prometheus and Zeus is pure gold. It's witty, it's clever, and it constantly pokes fun at Greek mythology itself. They bicker like an old married couple, with Prometheus getting increasingly exasperated and Zeus remaining blissfully unaware of how annoying he is. Their commentary isn't just background noise. It actively shapes your experience of the story. Sometimes they'll even argue about details of Fenyx's quest or what Fenyx might be thinking. It breaks the fourth wall in a really charming way, making you feel like you're in on the joke with them. The humor isn't mean-spirited, though. It's affectionate. It laughs the myths, not them. The gods are portrayed with all their flaws and foibles, making them surprisingly relatable despite their immense power. Hermes, for example, is a charming, fast-talking messenger god who helps Fenyx along the way, often with a quip or a sly remark. Even the other gods you encounter, like the vain Aphrodite or the gruff Ares, have their funny moments. This comedic layer makes the entire game feel light-hearted and incredibly entertaining, even when you're facing down a terrifying monster. It's a refreshing take on a genre that can sometimes take itself too seriously. Section 7. A world painted with sunshine, visuals, vistas and vibrancy. Visually is a treat for the eyes. It doesn't go for super realistic graphics. Instead, it opts for a bright, colorful, almost painterly art style. Think of it like a beautiful animated movie come to life. The world is vibrant and inviting with lush greens, sparkling blues and fiery oranges. This stylized approach works perfectly for the game's light-hearted tone and mythological setting. It makes the Golden Isle feel like a fantastical storybook world, full of wonder and magic. Every region has its own distinct color palette and visual themes, making exploration a constant visual delight. The character designs are also really well done. Fenyx, whether male or female, looks heroic yet approachable. The gods themselves are wonderfully realized, with designs that capture their personalities. Aphrodite is elegant and beautiful, surrounded by flowers. Ares is clad in imposing armor, looking every bit the war god. Hephaestus is a burly, hard-working figure, often covered in soot. And Zeus, well, Zeus looks exactly like you'd expect the slightly pompous, easily distracted king of the gods to look. Even the monsters, from towering cyclops to slithering gorgons, have a distinct, almost cartoonish charm, despite being dangerous. Performance-wise, the game generally runs smoothly across different platforms. Whether you're playing on a powerful PC, a PlayStation, an Xbox, or even the Nintendo Switch, the experience is largely consistent. The stylized graphics probably help here, as they are less demanding than hyper-realistic visuals. This accessibility is great because it means more people can enjoy Fenyx's adventure without needing the latest and greatest hardware. The game looks particularly stunning on systems that support higher resolutions and frame rates, where the colors really pop and the animations feel incredibly fluid, especially during those fast-paced combat sequences or when soaring through the air. The overall visual presentation just makes you want to explore. You'll often find yourself climbing to a high peak just to take in the view, watching the sun set over a shimmering ocean or marveling at the giant god-themed landmarks. The lighting is particularly effective, casting long shadows and making the world feel alive. From the glowing interiors of the Vaults of Tartaros to the sun-dappled forests of Aphrodite's Valley, every location is crafted with care and attention to detail. It's a world that feels joyful to simply exist in, a perfect backdrop for an epic and humorous adventure. Section 8, Echoes of Olympus, the music of myth and adventure. No grand adventure is complete without an epic soundtrack, and delivers on this front big time. The music is composed by Gareth Coker, who you might know from games like... He's done an absolutely fantastic job here. The score perfectly captures the heroic, adventurous, and sometimes whimsical spirit of the game. It's the kind of music that makes you want to charge into battle, solve an ancient riddle, or just soar through the skies on your magnificent wings. It truly elevates the entire experience, wrapping you in the sounds of myth. The soundtrack is incredibly thematic. Each region of the Golden Isle has its own distinct musical flavor, reflecting the god who presides over it. In Aphrodite's serene valley of eternal spring, the music is gentle and flowing, full of harps and flutes. When you venture into Ares' war-torn domain, the score becomes more percussive and martial, with booming drums and heroic brass. Hephaestus's Forgelands have a more industrial, rhythmic feel, while Athena's Grove features music that sounds wise and contemplative. This attention to detail makes each area feel even more unique and immersive. The music tells a story all on its own. Combat music is, as you'd expect, suitably thrilling. When you engage a group of monsters or face a fearsome boss, the tempo kicks up and the orchestra swells. The melodies are heroic and driving, making every sword swing and godly power feel even more impactful. It gets your adrenaline pumping and makes you feel like a true champion. But it's not all bombast. There are also quieter, more ethereal pieces for when you're exploring a sacred temple or a mysterious Vault of Tartaros. These moments of musical calm provide a nice contrast and add to the sense of wonder and discovery. What's really clever is how the music also supports the game's humorous tone. While much of it is epic and sweeping, there are also lighter, more playful motifs that sneak in, especially during moments of comedic dialogue or when something silly is happening. It never becomes overly goofy, but it acknowledges the game's fun-loving spirit. Gareth Coker's score for is more than just background noise, it's an essential part of the adventure. It's memorable, it's evocative, and it perfectly complements the game's blend of myth, action, and humour. It's the kind of soundtrack you'll be humming long after you've put the controller down. Section 9. A mythical triumph, fun, Fenyx, and a fantastic journey. So what's the final verdict on? Well, if you couldn't tell, I think it's pretty awesome. The game is a fantastic blend of genres. It takes the best bits of open-world exploration, action-adventure combat, and head-scratching puzzle solving, and wraps it all up in a beautiful, vibrant package. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's one of its biggest strengths. It manages to be both an epic adventure and a genuinely funny experience, which is a tough balancing act to pull off. But it does so with style and charm. The way it uses Greek mythology is just delightful. It's clear that developers have a real love for these ancient stories, but they're not afraid to play around with them. The gods are hilarious, flawed, and surprisingly human, even with all their divine power. Fenyx is a wonderful protagonist, an underdog hero you can really root for as they grow from a humble shield-bearer into a legend capable of challenging titans. The humour, especially the banter between Zeus and Prometheus, is a constant highlight, providing a running commentary that keeps you smiling throughout your journey across the Golden Isle. For anyone who enjoys a good adventure, loves Greek myths, or just wants a game that's packed with fun things to do, is an easy recommendation. There's so much to see, collect, and conquer. You can spend hours just gliding around, uncovering secrets and tackling the countless Vaults of Tartaros. The combat is engaging, the puzzles are clever, and the world is simply a joy to explore. It's a game that respects your time by making sure you're almost always rewarded for your curiosity and efforts. Ultimately, succeeds because it's just plain entertaining. It offers a big, beautiful world to get lost in, a charming story with lovable characters, and gameplay that keeps you engaged from start to finish. It's a light-hearted, joyful take on mythology that proves epic adventures don't always need to be dark and brooding. Sometimes, saving the world can be a whole lot of fun, especially when you've got gods cracking jokes in your ear. It's a mythical triumph and a journey with Fenyx you won't soon forget.